My name is Maria Johnson. I have trouble becoming pregnant, and my husband is a doctor. But in the 12th year of our marriage, at the age of 40, I fell pregnant. I was ecstatic and told my husband that in my advanced years, I would much prefer have an intelligent child with my young, attractive sister than a normal child with him. In return, he gave me divorce papers. At the age of 35, Lisa, my sister, was really attractive. A well-paid professional, such a doctor or lawyer, would be her dream spouse. It's ironic because she got pregnant with my ex-husband Jasper's aide. Lisa used to think it was great that I married a wealthy man. When I first married Jasper, she was filled with a mixture of resentment, jealousy, and envy, and was always wondering why someone as unassuming as myself could have such a fulfilling relationship while she was unable to. However, I don't think of myself as plain. Rather, I think of myself as ordinary and inferior to my sister. But Jasper decided to weed me, and after meeting Lisa at our wedding celebration, he fell in love. I asked him why, before marrying me, he had not wanted to meet my sister. Lisa was out on a date and missed the family gathering since she was at a mixer when Jasper arrived to ask her to marry him. Why should I have made the extra effort to introduce him to her in light of this? But wouldn't it make sense for him to meet her before getting married if she was his only sister? Meeting the sister didn't seem as important, but getting to know the family did seem sensible. I assumed Jasper was kidding since he didn't press the issue and laughed it off. Jasper was a dedicated physician who worked at a medical institution. Even in an emergency, he put the needs of his patients ahead of our plans. His passion was admirable, but I thought it was extreme. If a patient's health changed, even while he was at home, he would rush back to the hospital, sometimes not returning at all. I was concerned about his health, even though I respected his dedication to his career. I kept convincing myself that after we had kids, he might change from my misgivings about his position as a husband. But after 10 years of marriage, I started to have concerns about Jasper's actions. Although his commitment was commendable, he began to travel too much and stopped living at home. I took some clothing and prepared him lunch since I was worried about his health. But when I got to the hospital, I discovered that he had left. The nurse who told me seemed to know something I didn't, and she gave me a pitying look. I started to worry about something because of this. When Jasper's shift finished one evening, I went to the hospital and found him outside with a woman. She seemed familiar from behind, but I wasn't certain. I was too scared to face him head-on. I assumed it would stop on its own eventually if it was simply an affair. I thought that by ignoring it, we would be able to keep our marriage together instead of risking an increasing argument. One day, I asked Jasper, "How do you feel about ladies like my sister, Lisa? Doesn't she look beautiful? Is she the right kind for you?" "Well, she's definitely prettier than you," Jasper retorted. "I'd rather marry a gorgeous woman if I had to get married." I responded, "What if Lisa wanted to date you?" Jasper just looked at me, as if he was trying to decide whether to tell me the truth or ignore it. I thought he would remark that Lisa was just my sister and that he would pick me, but he said nothing. Jasper returned home even less frequently after that. I wondered whether it had been a mistake, and I felt bad about asking him about Lisa. Had I not brought it up, perhaps we could still be together. When I learned what I was expecting, my regret increased. I called Jasper at work with excitement, announcing to him that I was pregnant. We are now parents to the child we have always desired. I was overjoyed to become a parent myself after years of enviously watching other people raise their kids. Jasper gave a chilly answer. You are aware that I work. Please don't give me a call about this. I have a lot on my plate, he said. How should I know if I can come home early? In response to my question about if he could arrive home early to celebrate, he said, I practice medicine. I never know when something urgent may happen. I thought that since I was pregnant, he would be more considerate, but he wasn't. I felt horrible and slept little that night. My heart was devastated. I'd rather have a smart child with your young and beautiful sister than have an ugly child with you, Jasper said to me when he eventually returned home a week later. Since Lisa is also pregnant, our relationship is terminated. He put the divorce papers on the table and chuckled. So there was no mistake. It was Lisa, after all. After 15 years, I feel that I raised my triplets well, though I still feel resentment and regret when I think back on that day. It also signaled the start of my attention being drawn to my girls' conception and upbringing. I was able to move over Jasper's treachery because of them. They are in middle school now, and life has been rather interesting. All three of them become ill at the same time. If one of them has a temperature, I've had to take them to the hospital by myself. They beg me to dress them differently since they always want to wear the same clothes. I ended up hand-making 3 identical dresses. Because life was difficult, I took solace in their grins. Unquestionably, my girls have developed into stunning young ladies. It's almost unbelievable how gorgeous they've turned out, and it nearly makes me doubt that I could have given birth to such lovely kids. My mother, who used to assist with their care, used to comment that they had the greatest qualities from both myself and Jasper. My daughters are really fortunate if that is the case. I remember being really offended when Jasper called me ugly, but now that I have my children, I wonder what he would think of them. It makes me laugh. I never imagined that Jasper would meet our kids or that I would see him again. My mother, who loved my children, needed to go to the hospital one day. I found out it was at the hospital where Jasper works. When I went to see her, I didn't think I'd run into him because it's a big hospital, but destiny had other ideas. Hello, is it you, Maria? I was told. I turned and saw him wearing a white coat. His hair was now stained with gray after 15 years, which took away from his previously attractive aspect. What's going on? He said. Are you here for the geriatric department? The geriatric section handles problems associated with getting older, such as memory loss and deteriorating health. Despite the fact that he was older than me, his remarks suggested that I was elderly. However, I was no longer hurt by his remarks. He was the reason I had become so resilient. I shrugged off his comment and turned to go. Hey, I made the effort to talk to you. Jasper followed me, saying, Don't just ignore me. Why are you so available at the age of 60? I mean, I'm not as busy as I once was. I now have subordinates, he answered. Good for you, but I'm busy. Come on, 15 years have passed. Let's have a little conversation. I'd prefer not to speak with you. After I left, I know you went through a difficult period. You must have had a difficult life. But who am I to blame? Who would choose to live a lifetime with someone as uninteresting as you? He stated. I appreciate that. I answered, and now that you're older, you appear even older. It's worse now than it was when you were ugly. You have also evolved, I take it. You're 60 now. You have completely gray hair. Where is the man with the pepper and salt hair that I used to know? Nevertheless, wouldn't it be strange if I never change? He shot back. Yes, but won't your dear wife be turned off by that salt and pepper hair? Be at ease. That won't be a problem, he stated assuredly. Oh, really? You can't, however, avoid becoming older. Are you getting close to retiring? I'm still going strong. I'm just 55 years old. I have a couple more years left before I retire, he declared. Your kids are only 15 years old, so you have about 7 more years to work. That is accurate. I don't require the geriatric unit, he said. Are you able to pay for your children's college education? You probably only work as a grocery store cashier because you lack any skills. You dare not belittle the cashiers at grocery stores, I firmly asserted. My kids are going to college, and they're going to be physicians. Well done. However, I'm sure your kids are stupid and unattractive, so they might not benefit much from college. Perhaps not. Perhaps did you happen to be a father of a son? The worst son would be I have daughters, I answered. Well, that's something. At least they could be able to generate money even if they lack intelligence. Perhaps after high school, you should help them get employment in the service industry. How can you talk so badly about your own kids? When we're divorced with Lisa, I have only children, he declared. I haven't seen her in 15 years. To speak about her, what is her current state of affairs? She is scheduled to visit the hospital today. Is she still breathtakingly gorgeous? She is, of course. What do you mean by that? Jasper inquired, seeming unsure. I have a gut feeling that something is wrong. I mean, your kids had to be quite clever, right? After all, when we split, you preferred to have intelligent children rather than attractive ones. They are my kids, of course, he remarked. I wish I could see Lisa and the children. I mean, these are my nephews. You don't have to see them, he stated. But we're related, I said. It's only reasonable for me to want to see my family. There's no need to see them, he said again. Why not? Letting you see my kids doesn't bother me. Isn't it strange that you oppose it so strongly? Lisa is not interested in seeing you. Really? Only 2 of us are sisters. I wish to see each other again before our lives die. It's best to keep your distance. Our desperate levels of life would only lead to issues. That is untrue. She is my sister. I would be pleased to see her succeed. If you were poor and she was rich, you would be envious. I wouldn't. Sorry, it's useless to be envious of others. You obsess about little things. Humans aren't all that good. You would be jealous of Lisa's success and would even approach her for money. That is absurd. I would never do it at my age. Besides, I have no bearing on what Lisa chooses to do with her life. She is not at all envied by me. Even so, it's preferable if you don't meet. What makes you so unyielding? Are you concealing something? Nothing is to be hidden. Therefore, there is no issue with our meeting. I'm dying to see my sister. My sister came over as we were conversing. The adage, "Speak of the devil," seems to have come true. She had gained an unbelievable amount of weight, though, and her face had altered significantly from 15 years before. Now it looked misshapen and ugly. "Maria, who are you?" she questioned, clearly not recognizing me. "How come you forgot your own sister?" "How could that be?" Startled, I answered Lisa, who had been a model and a beauty symbol during the commotion surrounding her divorce, was now overweight and ugly, much as Jasper. "How did you get to be this way?" I inquired. "You really are just a piece of meat. I had assumed that physicians were extremely wealthy. I assumed there would be no problem with the cost of plastic surgery. However, Lisa said Jasper's pay was lower than anticipated, and after paying for the kids, there was no money left over for spa treatments." She chuckled, her big body trembling as if her appearance didn't matter. "I used to have liposuction, and have my eyes and nose altered cosmetically regularly. Hair elimination across the board was a guarantee, keeping up all of the financial requirements which were meant to come from my spouse, a physician or an attorney. I assumed that once you got married, you would continue having surgery surrounded by lads who had comparable spectacular physiques and snacked on food, Lisa remarked. I wanted to, but with 5 kids, there was no money left for myself. Lisa, they resemble you exactly, she said. Yes, they really do eat a lot, I replied. Not only that, but Jasper pointed out they all looked a lot like Lisa. It goes beyond simply being a boy and eating a lot, though. There are a few subtle similarities. None of them really resemble Jasper. Well, it's a good thing they resemble my husband, Lisa chuckled. No one ever said they looked like you. But Jasper only smiled tensely. Plastic surgery has evolved in recent years, particularly in Korea and other countries. Being born in the present era is a fortunate thing, without a doubt. I want my kids to undergo surgery before I have surgery again, if I have the money. After that, they'll all be attractive and able to wed wealthy ladies. Yes, but it's odd that Jasper's income isn't sufficient to meet expenses, even with children, I pointed out. Yes, he is indebted. I am without money because of this. Was he in debt when you were married? Yes, you stole him for about $30,000. $30,000? That is insignificant. It is now $180,000. How did it get to be so big? He buys cars all the time. He just has one body, and we don't even have enough parking space. Though it's useless, he won't stop buying more. Lisa, I find it incredible that you can laugh about it, really. Consequently, it is reciprocal. Explain what you mean. He wasn't aware that you had cosmetic surgery, was he? Still, he was enamored with your attractiveness. You did not expect him to spend it all, even if you believed he was a money tree, did you? Indeed, I never imagined he would be such a lavish spender. I have the same emotions. I was unaware that the face was created by plastic surgery. You looked stunning without any makeup on, Lisa. I always thought you were naturally beautiful. You have utterly deceived me, and now your face is breaking. If that's your sentiment, you need to have used that money on me, rather than automobiles. I would still be stunning now. That is accurate. Lisa had always promised to become attractive and had saved money for it. Yes, but everything went back to normal when you married someone like Jasper, who can't support that. You need a wealthy husband to retain your beauty. Well, it's too late now. Nobody left to make an impression on me. I understand, Maria. Have you undergone any cosmetic procedures? I'm confident in myself, so I didn't need surgery. But Lisa lacked confidence and turned to it. Really? Thus, you naturally had this appearance, whereas Lisa required surgery and is currently in disarray. My ex-husband said, "Don't speak poorly of the person you choose. She remains my sibling." Yes, but since you and your parents are related, our children must have similar looks. They have to be unsightly. Oh, you hope they're ugly because it would be annoying to lose. I turned to face the voice calling me. Right, but I'm the winner here, I responded, as my 3 gorgeous girls were standing there. Who are they? Jasper inquired, clearly showing his shock. My kids. Not at all. And 3 individuals. Yes, they're triplets. Are they really your kids? Yes, they are. It's unbelievable. Why do they differ so much? Their roots are the same. The same roots? Yes, the same parents. Why are they so different? Well, I'm their father. So what shall I say? Are they really not your children? Please don't be unpleasant. They are my biological daughters, I said, getting annoyed. Why are they so lovely if they are your children? Perhaps because they combine our best qualities. If you keep saying stupid things, I'll sue you for defamation. But they're very lovely. Surgery is not necessary for them. They can't have undergone surgery yet, can they? Obviously not. How could you be so offensive? They may be attractive, but it doesn't imply intelligence. You must be the source of their lousy minds, don't you think? Oh, please give up. You are the worst. However, you may feel a little embarrassed since these youngsters are really quite intelligent. Not at all. They're your children. You also own them with an IQ of 130. All three want to go to medical school. Medical school? That is incredible, similar to their mother. My sister added. What do you mean? Well, Maria always finished first in her class. Since I was never at the top, I realized I couldn't compete intellectually. I concentrated on my appearance because of this. Huh. But you told me you were top of your class too. Did you really think that I overreached to weed you? I assumed you would work things out. Not at all. How come? Thus, these children? Jasper cast a scornful glance at his children. What a jerk. Everything gets forgotten by my kids. They forget something else when I chastise them. Lisa said by the next day, I had lost hope in testing. They consistently come in last. It's obvious that they took after me. However, I was wondering who. Though I suppose they're more like Lisa. I had assumed they'd be intelligent like you, Jasper, but they will most likely become extremely nice adults. Indeed, personality matters more than intelligence. Nevertheless, my sister isn't exactly renowned for having a positive disposition either, I remarked. If she had a nice personality, she wouldn't have taken someone else's spouse. Jasper looked annoyed, and Lisa smiled brightly. Why are your kids so intelligent and ours so stupid? I find this unacceptable, Joseph said. That's not proper to do in front of the children. Jasper, you claimed Lisa's children would be intelligent after our divorce. How could I have known she would finish last in her class? I was tricked. You lacked the wisdom to recognize reality. I believed Lisa when she stated that. How pitiful. At least you were able to weed a stunning woman, though that ought to be plenty. He could not hold on to reality, no matter how angry he got. Jasper appeared enraged, his jaw contorted with annoyance. My girls were whispering to each other. Who is this guy? Are these kids really wanting to become doctors? Yes, it runs in the family. Doctors? Really? Is this a man you know, Mom? One of my daughters asked. Well, I wouldn't call him a friend of mine, but yes, we know each other. What are you discussing? I'm your father. It's me, Jasper. My girls' looks became sour with disgust. Considering that I've always been honest with them, it makes sense. Every time they inquired about their father, I explained to them the sort of man their father was and how unconcerned he was with causing harm to others. I'm aware that such things are inappropriate to educate children about, but if Jasper discovered my girls and showed up, he might try to take them away with his money. Jasper would undoubtedly want to take credit for their brilliance and beauty. I did it for that reason, and it's all happening in front of my eyes right now. You're the one who left us behind, one of my children said. A man who can't see past appearances, another added. So that's why you didn't notice the plastic surgery, a third chuckled. At last, everyone spoke the same words. What a pathetic old man. Jasper didn't seem to know how to reply. It would be useless to wait for Jasper to respond, so I turned to check what my girls were carrying. What purchases did you make? You mentioned visiting a bookshop, correct? Yes, they did have what we needed, as we had anticipated, they remarked, pointing to a pile of reference volumes. Middle school studies are boring now, so we got college-level reference books, a German book, and some medical books. Since childhood, they had shared books, and now that their objectives were similar, they continued to do so. One of them said, "It's important to learn German if you want to be a doctor, right?" Jasper seemed perplexed. Are they truly this intelligent? They continue to attend middle school, I said. I told you they have an IQ of 130, one of my daughters reminded me. Mom, we must see Grandma. Yes, she's waiting. Let's go. Lisa waved and whispered, "See you later." But Jasper just looked defeated and said nothing as we drove away. After a month, Jasper called. He made an astonishing statement. "Give me those kids." What? Those children? It stunned me. Yes, the 3 daughters you raised. Why? You are a parent to your own children. They're utterly stupid. They are not what I desire. My genes are in the daughters you nurtured. Give them to me. They're mine for sure. Would I really give my lovely girls to a man who claims he doesn't want children of his own? Consider your words before you speak, I said. After I retire, which is soon, I'll be working as a consultant physician. I'll see to it that they train as physicians. However, I'm sure you can pull it off. To become a doctor, one must have money. How does an unmarried lady pay for college? If these 3 intelligent children were prevented from becoming physicians due to financial constraints, it would be a waste. You don't need to worry about that. You can't really say that. Are you even aware of the high cost of becoming a doctor? I'm remarried. A second marriage? To whom? The director of the hospital where you work. What are you? The wife of the director. Yes. So when they become doctors, they'll work at that hospital and eventually take over. A gold mine. That's not the main idea. They aspire to become doctors. Money is not the issue. However, that is a reality. It's a treasure trove, Dr. Johnson. It is the reason they will never respect you. There are 3 of them. Come on, please give me only one to make sure my old age is safe. I would only need one. My own children are worthless. Kids aren't money trees. It's an idealistic perspective. Here, I'm in serious difficulty. It amazes me that a person such as you is a doctor. You should use caution. I refuse to give the kids to Jasper, regardless of his desire to remarry. I hung up on him, even though he was yelling desperately. Frustrated, I went to my husband for advice. He quickly arranged for Jasper to be sent to a tiny clinic that only treated elderly patients in a distant mountain community. Jasper had a bad reputation very quickly, as he was renowned for being kind to attractive ladies, but impolite to everyone else. The nurses and patients rejoiced when he left, and he was surprised by how poorly he was thought of. He would frequently lament, "There's no way I'm staying in this backwater clinic forever." But in reality, he was upset about his large wage reduction. Jasper claimed that his low pay prevented him from providing for his 5 children, but in reality, his kids did well in their new surroundings, playing cheerfully and making use of plenty of natural resources. Lisa would periodically contact me to let me know how content and relieved they were with their new life. Jasper struggled to make ends meet, but Lisa and the kids adjusted rather nicely. He managed to secure part-time employment at a distant hospital, but his financial issues remained. Perhaps from stress, Jasper's health deteriorated while he worked part-time and paid off debt. While his family gained weight as a result of their healthy lifestyle, he experienced dramatic weight reduction. Lisa informed me recently that Jasper was not as happy as he used to be. He was a delicate man, mentally fragile despite his continual arrogance. It was enjoyable to watch him struggle in a manner. My life is full with joy and happiness as my children grow up.